Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between the rolling hills, there lived a young boy named Arif. Arif came from a humble background. His father was a farmer, and his mother took care of the house. Their family lived a simple life, but they valued education above all. Arif's parents had always emphasized the importance of learning, and they dreamed that one day their son would rise above the limitations of their circumstances through hard work and education. Arif was a bright child, always curious, but like many children, he found himself distracted easily. He loved playing with his friends and exploring the outdoors, but when it came to sitting down and studying, he often struggled. He was good at math and science, but his attention span was short, and he often found himself procrastinating. One evening, after a long day of work on the farm, Arif sat with his father, who was quietly mending his shoes. The boy was unusually quiet, his face filled with worry. "What's troubling you, Arif?" his father asked. "I feel like I'm not doing enough," Arif confessed. "I want to do well in school, but no matter how hard I try, I always end up distracted. I feel like I am wasting my time." His father stopped for a moment, his weathered hands stilling as he thought carefully. Then he spoke with a soft but firm voice. "Arif, life is much like the crops we grow on this land. You can't rush the harvest. You must put in the hard work day by day and be patient with the process. If you tend to your studies as you tend to your fields with consistency and care, you will see the results." Arif listened carefully to his father's words. He had always admired how hard his father worked on the farm, waking up at dawn, working under the hot sun, and never once complaining. His father's life was not easy, but he was always determined, always persistent. Arif understood the lesson his father was trying to teach him. Hard work, no matter how small, was what brought results. The next day, Arif decided to change his approach to his studies. He knew he had to be more disciplined, just like his father was with the crops. He created a study schedule, setting aside a few hours each day to focus on his schoolwork. At first, it was difficult. He would find himself looking out the window, hearing the sounds of his friends playing, and wishing he could join them. But he reminded himself of his father's words, and slowly, he learned to push through the distractions. Arif also sought help from his teachers. He realized that sometimes he didn't understand the material as well as he thought. So, he stayed after school to ask questions, and when his teachers explained things more clearly, Arif found himself understanding the lessons much better. It wasn't easy, and there were times when he felt overwhelmed by the amount of work. But each time he struggled, he reminded himself that this was part of the process, the effort that would eventually lead to success. As the weeks went by, Arif noticed something remarkable. His grades started improving, little by little. He wasn't the best student in his class, but he was proud of the progress he had made. More importantly, Arif began to feel a sense of pride in his work. He felt more confident and knew that his hard work was paying off. One day, during the annual village fair, Arif's school held a competition. It was an essay contest, and the prize was a scholarship to a prestigious school in the city. Arif, who had been studying hard for months, decided to enter. The topic of the essay was the importance of hard work in achieving success. Arif felt that this topic was close to his heart, as it reflected his own journey. When the day of the contest arrived, Arif sat nervously in front of his paper, his mind racing. He thought about all the hours he had spent studying, all the times he had resisted the urge to play and had chosen to study instead. He wrote about his father's wisdom, about the crops they planted together, and how they both worked hard to make sure that the harvest would be plentiful. He wrote about the challenges he had faced in his studies, the doubts that had crept into his mind, and how he had pushed through them by staying disciplined and focused. When the results were announced, Arif could hardly believe his ears. He had won the contest. His essay was praised for its sincerity and depth, and his hard work had earned him the scholarship. Arif's family was overjoyed. His father, in particular, was proud, not just because of the scholarship, but because Arif had learned the value of hard work. In the years that followed, Arif continued his education in the city, excelling in his studies. He never forgot the lessons he had learned from his father, that success didn't come overnight, that it took perseverance, patience, and dedication. Arif worked hard every day, not just for the rewards, but for the satisfaction that came from knowing he was doing his best. He graduated with honors and eventually returned to his village, where he became a teacher, sharing his knowledge and the lessons of hard work with the next generation of students. Arif's story became an inspiration to many, especially to those who believed that their backgrounds or circumstances would limit their success. He showed them that no matter where you come from, no matter what challenges you face, hard work and determination can change your life. Through consistent effort, one could overcome any obstacle and achieve greatness, just as Arif had done. And so Arif's journey continued, not just as a student, but as a lifelong learner, always working hard, always striving for more, and always remembering that success was not about shortcuts, but about the effort put into each step of the journey.